Hello, hello. No, your eyes aren't deceiving you. You're seeing correctly. It's me, Beanie. I'm here. I'm here. Um, I'm on my lunch break, but I'm watching emails. Work has been so ridiculous the last 2 months that I'm not gonna bore you guys with the details, but I have been really. Ugh. Anyhow, um, here's a video that I promised like a month ago, a month and a half ago. But first, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. Let me get these glasses off. Oh, fuck. Welcome to all my new subscribers. My name is Beanie. This is my channel, and the channel is exactly what it says, Beanie Unscripted. So I don't really plan anything out. I just go by the seat of my pants and talk about whatever. I may have things that I do that may get under your skin, and I can't help you. Okay, so if I say and that bothers you, don't watch the video. Okay, I mean, and I curse. I try not to, but I do. Not as much as I would want to. Believe me, I scale it back a lot, but I do curse. So if that rubs you wrong, if you're sensitive, you got precious little baby ears, then listen, there's a bazillion. There are so many new denture channels that are popping up with, people that are really trying to crank out the content. You don't have to watch Beanie. I'm just here to try to help if I can. I hope you guys stick around, but, if my personal proclivities bother you, then don't watch. I mean, what can I do for you? All right. So today, even though I'm unscripted, I do have, don't look at my ironing board. That's got a quilt that I've been drag-assing on finishing this quilt, but I don't have time. So I have the list. It is like, I had to write it down. I'm old. I write shit down. I don't put stuff on my phone. I haven't done this in so long. I'm even way more unscripted than I am. And, oh my God, I hear something. So listen, before we get started, it's super, super dark because it's just really bad weather. It's morning-ish, but it looks like it's getting nighttime, right? And one of my cats was perched like right in front of my kitchen sink when I went in there just a little while ago to heat up my cafe au lait. And she normally doesn't hang out in the kitchen. She's like my quiet one, but she's my hunter. Like if a bug tries to get in my house, I don't worry about it. Like we have palmetto bugs here in the South, and unfortunately they do find their way into my house occasionally. I don't ever worry about it because by morning it will be dead. I will see it. It'll be on my living room floor or my kitchen floor. Pom Pom takes care of business. So the fact that she was in front of my kitchen sink just now had me nervous. So I said, okay, Beanie, open up the doors to the kitchen sink. Now this has only happened, I've been in this house 8 years. This has only happened 3 times. And each time it's been a mouse. And since it's fall, I'm wondering like if a critter tried to get in my house. So I opened up the doors, and then not only did Pom Pom go inside, but Huey went inside too. So you guys, if you hear me screaming, because I'm hearing them wrestling around in there, if I bug out on this video, you know why, because there was something there and they killed it. For those of you that don't like cats, this is why I like cats. Anyhow, let's move on. And I'm going to try to not be long-winded, but you guys know I'm long-winded. Okay. So how long have you had dentures? Oh, by the way, this is my 1 year having dentures recap video. Fucking Beanie. I can't get my life right. So I got my denture. I got full extractions and my dentures at the very end of June of 2020. So I have had dentures 1 year and 3 months. What type of dentures do you have? I have standard denture. I guess I call them standard dentures. Maybe you young people would call them like, you got old lady dentures now, because I'm not going with hybrids and implants. I just have regular dentures that you can take out. Regular old dentures. What brand of dentures do you have? Okay, well, they're not a brand. I got them through Aspen Dental, if you guys have watched any of my videos. And they are the Aspen Dental Comfy Light dentures. And I don't remember the tooth size, but recently I've been feeling like this tooth size is a little too big. Like the bottoms just don't, like, I think I could have gone a size smaller, but the color is the second brightest of the bleach shades. So it's not the very bright bleach, but the second brightest. Do you regret getting this kind of denture? No, because that's just the way that it worked out. Originally, I thought like, oh, I want to have the implants because everything I read and and I wanted to go abroad and get the implants. COVID happened. You weren't going to the grocery store, nevertheless going abroad. And this is the route that I ended up going for a number of reasons, and I've detailed them several times throughout different videos. I don't regret it. Honestly, the money that I saved, because I paid cash for my dentures, the money I saved, I was able to use towards other things related to my health, which were more important than a fancier set of dentures. I don't have super issues. You know what I'm saying, guys? Like, for me, I think if you sit there and you watch a shit ton of YouTube videos of people who got a higher grade denture, then you're going to have that FOMO, or you're going to feel like, oh, you know, that's the only way to go, because that's the nature of social media. Social media grooms you to lust after what other people have, because that's what it's supposed to, that's the whole point of it. The whole point of it is to create the stir so it encourages sales in different areas. Okay. So no, I don't regret getting them. I mean, I regret these actual teeth because I don't like them. And we've talked about this before, about how this side goes up and whatever. But as far as not getting implants, no, right now I don't have regret. If I take the teeth out and I look like, you know, Grandma Hattie, yes. Because I have had so much shrinkage up here. That is so noticeable. When the dentures are in, it's not as bad. They're fine. And I saved tons of money. What, if anything, would you do differently? I wouldn't have procrastinated. I wouldn't have dicked around. I had dental for years and years and years and just was so afraid of the process and assumed so many things. I should have just went to the dentist, got the consults, and then started on the process years ago. I regret that. I also may have gone the implant route had I started years ago, particularly because I had super dental coverage like 5 years ago, where, you know, the whole economy and everything wasn't so unstable. I could have, you know, started the whole implant process, and, you know, but that's a whole shit ton of woulda, shoulda, coulda. What do I regret now is not having a better set of expectations during the denture process. You know, you watch people's videos, and I watched a handful, but not a whole lot, because I really try not to, you know, let somebody else's shit become my shit, you know. I had an unrealistic expectation in some ways. And I really wish I would have been a little bit more realistic with myself. And I see that also in a lot of the emails that I get from viewers, where their expectation was here and then the actual reality was here. And a lot of that was influenced by what they've seen on social media, whether it's in Facebook groups, YouTube videos, TikToks now, Snapchats. I mean, there are so many things to try to keep up with. Instagram. I don't have enough time for that. Like, I don't. But I do kind of regret even like hyper reacting to certain things that now I just know, you know, like kind of like roll with it, but that's part of my anxiety disorder, so whatever. Anyhow, let's move on. How much did you pay? Shit. I think I have it in a video, but the total quote was around 8,000 or just under 8,000 with insurance, with me purchasing a dentalplans.com plan and using that with my insurance. The bottom price tag was just under 3,000 for everything. That was including, it was what, no, not just under, it was, I think it was like $2,700. I should have looked this shit up before I sat down, but I figured, like, listen, Beanie, hop on this, just do it. Like, do it while you feel motivated to do this. It was like 26 or 27, I think. Like, that was my final number after like all of the different discounts that I was able to kind of squeeze out. So, and that included, you know, all the return visits to the dentist's office. It included all the extractions. It included the temporaries, the replacement temporaries, and then these shitty fucking teeth. Do you sleep with your dentures? Yes, I do. The reason I sleep with my dentures, and I've talked about this in another video as well, is I wear a CPAP at night because I have sleep apnea. Particularly now, because I have shrunk so much up here. Now, I wear the triangle. If you look close, I put a little cover up on, but I still have a face hickey. Because I wear a triangle mask, and I've shrunk back so far on this top plate that if I put the mask on without teeth, it literally just like wraps into my mouth. And I have the smallest nose mask. So I do wear my teeth and it's absolutely fine. I've consulted with my dentist at Aspen as well as my pulmonologist, and this is what I do. I still take my teeth out during the day, but at night I do wear my dentures. And I no longer like how it feels when I don't have dentures in, because I find with so much shrinking that I clench. Like, I clench the toothless gums a lot. And I don't like that because then I get like pain in my jaw. Ugh. All right, what is your favorite denture products? I don't have any. I don't really care. I did bring out a couple of things that I'm just currently using, but they're not faves. I still use this occasionally. This is the Orajel Mouth Sores Antiseptic Rinse. I originally purchased it when I got my extractions. And occasionally, if your girl Beanie decides to be a dummy and chew something without having adhesive in her mouth, which doesn't happen often, but I do occasionally do that. Or if I eat, like suck on a lollipop, and I know I shouldn't, you know, listen, we're not going to talk about the food thing right now. But if I were to suck on a lollipop without my dentures in, you know, the roof of my mouth gets little sores. You know, your gums are very sensitive after being protected with the dentures all the time. So I still use this. I mean, it's been a year, but I still got like this much in it, but I do use it. I just use it, you know, sometimes if sometimes if food gets underneath my dentures and I'm still like chewing throughout the day, I may have a little scrape from something that chews, and this stuff works good. I use You know, the tablets. We did the video where I got all those different types of tablets. I use whatever kind of fizzy tablets I find. I mean, Walmart, Effordent, Polydent, Dollar Tree. I don't really care. I do use this too. This is called Stain Away Professional Strength Denture Cleaner. This is not like an overnight soaker. You can only soak your dentures in this for like, it says 10 to 20 minutes. But I do use this, and it depends. Sometimes I use it once a week. Sometimes I use it several times a week. You know, just whatever. If I look at them and say, well, you had a lot of coffee this week, they look kind of, you know, freshen them up, I'll use this. Okay, so I do use this too. This is, Fresh and Bright Denture Cleaning Paste. And it's basically toothpaste. To me, it tastes like baking soda. It says use twice daily or as needed. I don't know. Do you guys brush your dentures twice a day? I mean, maybe I should because I have really white ones, but I don't. Like once a day I do. Oh God, now I feel dirty. Should I be doing it twice a day? I don't fucking know. It says, on this, it says not recommended for use in mouth or on non-removable denture appliances. But can I tell you something? Sometimes I get the urge, and I do it a lot, like when my granddaughter is here, because, you know, she's only 2.5. So she's learning dental hygiene. So when I take her in the bathroom to brush her teeth, a lot of times I will brush my dentures with this, with my dentures in the mouth with her. Now it says not recommended, but it doesn't say prohibited. So I see, is there lipstick on my, I don't know. I don't know why it's not recommended, but I do. And it kind of makes me feel normal to do that, like a real person. Like not a real person, but you know what I'm saying, like you know, you're not different from wearing dentures. This is still the Poly Grip, super strong, all day, free denture adhesive, zinc free. It's still my favorite. It is my go-to. However, I just got this double pack of Fixodent at Ollie's, and it was $4.50 for a double pack. And while I cannot stand this Fixodent, not that I can't stand it, but it's not my favorite, I picked it up. It's good to have as, you know, extras in your purse or whatever. And then the last product is this Super Poly Grip Denture Adhesive Powder. You know, I kind of like, it says it's extra strength. I don't believe it's extra strength. Even if you double dip it, like if you're supposed to wet your dentures, put it on, and then, you know, wet your dentures again and then stick them in. So I normally will do a 2-layer coverage. I do like this for days that I just don't want a lot of adhesive to have to take off at the end of the day or what have you. But I still feel like this is a super wasteful product. I've even gotten to the point where, like, okay, if I shake it into the top dentures, when I have to shake it out, I'll then shake it into the bottom dentures. So then, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to waste it. I just feel like this is a very wasteful product. I suppose I could get a little container, and as I'm shaking, you know, the excess powder out, shake it out into that container. I guess I could do that. I don't really want to have to do that. So for the extra work, is the cheaper price worth it? I don't know, but I think it's good to have as a backup. So those are currently the products that I'm using. I just use the regular old brushes that I got from Walmart. This toothpaste came with a brush. Aspen Dental gave me like 6 brushes. So I have brushes for days. I'm not in need for dental brushes. So that's that. This is a one. I put a star next to this because I get a lot of this one. Can you eat everything? Yeah, I can eat whatever I want. One of the biggest questions that I get a lot in emails and even in the comments is even my brother asked me about that, was 2 things: corn on the cob and steak. I don't eat red meat really. So, you know, I'm not jonesing for a steak. I'll have a bite of somebody's steak, but I'm not going purposely out to make steak. I believe you can eat whatever you want with dentures, provided you use a little bit of caution and common sense, especially if you have the dentures like I have. I can't speak for people that have the denture implants or the hybrid implants. Okay, I'm talking about old lady dentures. They're not teeth, okay? You know that they're being held in with glue. So you're not going to be, you know, Fred Flintstone pulling off a T-bone and just chomping on that. It's going to require you taking a little effort to cut your steak into most likely much smaller pieces. And definitely using the even distribution of chewing on both sides of your teeth. But really, I feel like using the smaller bites is really the big thing. Like when I made ribs for my daughter's birthday a couple of weeks back, you know, ribs are sort of like steak. I mean, it's a chewy meat, and it's just about cutting down the size. Now, would I recommend peanuts? Yeah, if you want peanuts occasionally, but I really would probably caution you against it, because you just know that there's a chance with a hard item like that or hard candy, you can break a tooth. So, you know, it's just common sense. And corn on the cob, come on, it's okay. Just take your little knife like you had braces. Cut your little corn off the cob and eat it. People would just think you're fancy. It's not a big deal to not be able to pull the corn off the cob. There are so many other wonderful things in the world for you to eat that when you have teeth that you can chew with, who gives a shit about steak and corn? Just eat and enjoy it. Does food taste differently? Okay, so a lot of the material online will discuss, sorry, I gotta look at this email real quick. We'll discuss about the fact that when you do have a full top plate, you have taste buds that are now covered up and food tastes different. I don't think it's super different. I don't think it's something that should prevent you from getting your rotten ass teeth pulled out and you getting some pretty dentures. You know what I'm saying? And if you really feel like you're missing out on how something tastes, pop your teeth out and stick it in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like the things that we talk ourselves out of because of what we hear other people talk, you know, say. No, it's okay. You still got taste buds on your tongue, man. It's all right. All right. What is your advice for someone who needs to get dentures? Listen, stop dicking around. I've said it in a bazillion videos. Don't dick around. I get it. 90% of us don't have that money fluid to just go and get dentures. Because if you did, you would have gotten it. One tooth at a time. Get consults. Look at dental colleges if you have any near you, dental clinics, not for the dentures, but even just to get the extractions done at a cheaper cost. Look at if you can piggyback having insurance as well as a dentalplans.com membership. Just don't punish yourself by waiting, because it's really a type of punishment. I found a video of myself that I filmed 4 years ago. Yeah, about 4 years ago. Yeah, it was about 4 years ago. And this is not even when my teeth were at the super worst, but they were like on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say they were probably like on a 7, 8 of my worst level. Even that was like, who were you fooling, Beanie? Like, who were you fooling? And the pain that I had was ridiculous. Just don't wait. Don't wait. Go to consultations. And even if it means you don't do nothing for another year, at least you have expectations. You know what to expect. You can prep for it. You can plan for it. You can make it a goal and start saving for it. Okay. Oh, you know, and another thing is, when deciding what type of teeth to get for new people, don't, I mean, watch other people's videos, watch people's experiences, but don't let that be what influences 100% of the decision you make. Because if you go to the dentist's office, I mean, unless you have a tried and true, good-hearted dentist, they are in a business. Okay, they're in a business. They're in a business to make money, and they're going to sell you on the newest, fanciest, most expensive options. And they're going to tell you how great it is because they have care credit plans or this dental financing option, or you can even go online and type in dental financing and find a plethora of financing options. The issue that I have with that is looking at the long-term maintenance. Okay, for me, I got these little chops. I can run, God forbid, to Aspen Dental or to Affordable Dentures and get me a new set of temporaries for $600 cash. And that's not even including insurance. I can go online and get a pair from that guy, Russell Klein. Was it $400 or $500? And then I have some choppers that I can show off. Whereas if you have implants and you have a pin that comes out, you have a tooth that pops off, you have to go back to the dentist. Like, think about, don't just think about, oh, you know, my bone is shrinking back, blah, 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 blah. Think about like the long-term care and maintenance that's required. Did you take care of your teeth, you know, that were in your head naturally? Are you willing to put in the work and the effort for fancier hybrids and implants? You know, like keep it, all I'm trying to say is just keep it real with yourself. Keep it real of what you're willing to do once you have your dentures. And are you okay with the potential long-term costs of the maintenance for those dentures? That's all, you know. And again, I don't know the ins and outs of, you know, replacement pieces for those that have implants or whatever, because I don't have them, so I don't know. But the other part would be, I can pretty much assume, I mean, unless you're like somebody like me who had the money, like sitting there waiting, most people that are getting these, you know, higher quality dentures are financing them in some way, shape, or form. I mean, because we're looking at, you know, anywhere between, I would say, $10,000 to $25,000 minimum, just for like the basic starter sets. And then you can get super fancy and go porcelain and be up to $40,000 for implants. You know, like the implanted fancy dentures. Or implants themselves, like individual implants. Unless you have really fantastic credit, anytime you're financing that, you're paying interest on that. And that's something to look at too. Because even if they say, oh yeah, we're going to approve you and your payment is only like $130 a month. And you're like, yeah, man, I could swing $130 a month. Yeah, but you're also paying interest on that for the next 6 years. So darling, you're not paying, let's say, $15,000. In the long term, you're actually paying $22,000. Depending on what your credit is what your interest rate is going to be. That's all I'm going to say about that. Like, that's something I'm so firm on, you guys, because y'all know that I live debt free. So I am not an encourager of overextending yourself and putting yourself in a pickle unnecessarily. Do you miss your natural teeth? Nope. I don't. I never liked them even when I was younger. You know, my mom never expressed much interest in, you know, like getting me braces. They weren't awful. Maybe I'll try to dig up a picture of like what I look like with full teeth. They weren't awful, but I did have an overbite. These canines were more narrow and pointy. I mean, they just weren't, you know, God's gift. So no, I don't miss them. I do miss being able to chew gum every single day. Even though chewing gum is not good for you and it's not good for your digestive system, I do occasionally chew gum. No, I don't chew that Freedent. Ugh, that stuff is the pits. I just chew a very like soft gum. I'm trying to think what brand I was chewing recently. Oh, it was Extra. Extra in the bubblegum flavor. And that didn't stick to my dentures. So I chewed it. I got it out of my system. But it was just a habit, because you got to remember, I had all those rotting teeth in my mouth, so I had really nasty breath. So I was really used to like having a piece of gum or having cough drops in my mouth, anything to mask my breath when I had to go in front of customers or coworkers. What was the hardest? Oh, I just snapped. That was stupid. I'm sorry. And I'm not editing it out, because you guys know I don't edit videos. What was the hardest part to adjust to once you had extractions or temporaries? There was a lot of things. I don't want to say they were hard. They were just adjustments because they were new. So just the feeling of them in my mouth, and I'm going to be very honest with you. Like right now, they're not glued in. They're just in, because normally I don't have them in the mornings because I wear them at night. They still don't feel like part of me, where what I mean is that I still recognize daily that they're there, right? What was the hardest part of it to adjust to once you had extractions and temps? Learning to eat normally and healthily again, because I ate. Well, first of all, I'm an emotional eater, but I also ate garbage because I had literally no side teeth. And I was so excited to like just have the experience of eating things. So eating everything, anything like I could, when I finally could chew, which was about like 2 months in, where I no longer had pieces of bone popping out and my holes were really closing up. I really experimented, because I just, the sensation, the satisfaction of the chewing. And I had to adjust to reel that in. And I realized that that's not going to be everybody's experience. And everybody has the issue with food that I do, you know. But that was, you know, an adjustment. As far as just, you know, keeping like extra stuff with me, that was never an issue. I'm a planner, so I wasn't worried about that. I'm never worried about them coming out in public. I don't really go out in public since COVID, but when I do, I don't really worry about it. It's something that I'm no longer just going to be ashamed of. You know, like if my teeth were to ever pop out, like the only thing I would care about is like, God, if they were to pop out and fall, like, please, bitch, don't break. Like I would be more worried about that than I would about somebody knowing that I had dentures. Do you still get sores on your gums? Okay, so I talked about that a little today. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have 2 on the upper part of my mouth, and that was because I had lollipops 2 weeks ago, and I cut my gums open. So I only get sores now if I eat food without my dentures in, and I don't do that very often. I did that in the beginning. I don't do that very often anymore. But if I do get food that sneaks under throughout the day and maybe gets stuck on adhesive, and that rubs against my gums, that will cause me to get a little cut. And I just use that Orajel. I'll leave my dentures out as much as possible and give myself time to heal, but it doesn't happen too often. Do you still play with your dentures? Oh, you guys. I do if they're not locked in. It's not as bad as when I first got them and I was literally taking them out and leaving them everywhere. Now, if I take them out, I normally just stick them in my bubbies. Oh, by the way, did you see my shirt today? It is, I'm into fitness. And then the bottom says, fitness taco in my mouth. Yeah, bitch. So if they're not glued in, I do find myself flicking out the bottoms. And I used to tease my granddaughter a lot, like when I first got them, about my teeth. And now I don't, because I just don't want that to be a thing for her to be like, oh, you know, my grandma got dentures. Like, I'm growing up and phasing out of that. Have you or would you ever buy dentures from an online store like Russell Klein or Joe's Dentures? Never say never. I didn't know who Joe's was or Joss was, and I had to look them up. And okay, Russell Klein has a lot of great reviews. I realized that he's raised his price a little since he became popular with YouTubers. Again, I'm not going to say never, that I would never, but I'll tell you, with having gone through the issues that I went through getting a good fit in person with someone, I probably would be very hesitant to buy them online through a vendor where I don't have the ability to go in and see them personally and have them fix whatever's wrong with them once I get them. Does that make sense? Especially because I am so like anxious and neurotic about things like that. I would be worried that I don't like, and you can, you know, there's people that talk about, you know, going to your actual dentist and asking them to take the molds for you to send them to places like Russell and Joe's or Joss. You can. I'm not saying that it wouldn't work out. I just don't know if it probably would be the best thing for me because, you know, like I just didn't have a, you know, a great experience with the whole fitting process. And then to send them away to somebody, and then when you get them back, you know, and if there's adjustments that need to be made, you still have to go to your dentist or try to send them back. I just feel like it would be a lot of work, and this little beanie brain may not be able to cope. But never say never. Russell Klein, I've heard great things about him. I was very interested in at least trying his dentures. I was even considering, you know, trying his dentures, you know, as temporaries or backups. The Joe's or Joss, I checked, and this is no shade. I'm not being shady, but what I'm saying is this. Listen. If you're having first of all, his price point, I won't keep it real. His price point was as much as going to a dentist's office. So I'd rather go to a dentist's office and, you know, at least be able to face with somebody. And the other thing that kind of wigged me out was, yo, if you're making YouTube videos about dentures and trying to like sell your product by doing these little tutorials, clean up your workspace, man. Like, I get it, it's your denture workspace, but you need to always put your best foot forward. And I don't know how I would feel about purchasing dental appliances from somebody who has wax and shavings and all kinds of garbage all over their workstation while they're filming a video. Like, I'm thinking hygiene. I'm just thinking hygiene. Like, I get it, man. I get it that you're doing this, but it just would rub me. And listen, maybe he makes great dentures, and maybe it's worth paying as much as going to a dentist. I don't know. I never heard of this person until this person emailed me. And I mean, if he wants to send me freebies, I'll try him out. But I'm going to tell you right now, sir, you need to clean your equipment. Clean your equipment, like freshen it up because it's funky. And that, to me, would be a turnoff. That's just from a marketing person. Just saying. All right, I'm almost done. Will dentures ever feel like? Okay, will dentures ever feel like part of my mouth? It's been 6 months and it's not a single day that I don't notice them. I don't know. I can't say when it will happen for you. Like I said, I still notice my teeth every day. But it's not in a bad way. You know, like I just notice that they're there because, you know, especially like if they're not locked in, they wiggle around. I think it's as much brain power you put into like when you just start hyper focusing on something, then you just notice it all the time. And I think if you just make peace with like, this is your lot in life, you have your dentures and keep it moving. And then eventually they will feel like part of you. And listen, they are part of you. You paid for them, so they're yours. Oh, what are your thoughts about going to Mexico for dentures? Buyer beware. I was going to go. So, there are a lot of towns throughout the southwest border of Arizona, like Nogales, and through Texas, where northerners, not just from the US, but from Canada, will come down. They will stay on the US side, and then they cross the border into Mexico for these denture paloozas. And these people are in the business of quick turnaround. And so while it may be less expensive for some things, there's always going to be a rub, you guys. There's always going to be a rub. So they're whipping you in, they're whipping you out, and then when you go back home, if something goes wrong, you either would have to travel again back to wherever you got it done, whether it's South Korea, Turkey, South America, Mexico, or you would have to find somebody in the US. So you have to decide what's worth it to you. How much work do you need to have done? How much time can you take to get it done? And know that, once you're down there, you are in a foreign country and they're just churning people out. It's just like, the dental game for medical tourists is no different than people who go to get they go abroad to get gastric bypass. They go abroad to get cosmetic surgery. And while it may be cheaper, and while you may find someone that does it well and does it inexpensively, for the most part, there's going to be a rub. So like for those that may want to go to Playa del Carmen or Xcaret, you have to travel there. So there's your travel expense. And unless you have a friend who has a house there, you have your hotel expense. Then you have the expense of the professional, and then you have your follow-up care. And ultimately, when all is said and done, I mean, unless you live in those border towns or live very close to it, ultimately, those extra expenses kind of average out, give or take. I'm not opposed to it. I was considering it myself. My goal was I wanted to go to South Korea. I heard a lot of great things about the dental technology in South Korea and just like the level of care in South Korea. But I don't know, things didn't work out for me that way, and I'm okay with it. I just say, do your due diligence. Weigh everything out. Weigh it all out. Have you had any bouts of angular cheilitis since getting dentures? No, I have not. So if you don't know what angular cheilitis is, and I should insert a picture, I might. Let me write down what time this is. 42:55. Holy shit, I've been talking for 42 minutes. All right, so angular cheilitis happens a lot for people who have dentures, and it's when your folds here start creating sores. So I'll try to insert a picture, and you can just look it up what it is. But no, I haven't had any issues with that. Maybe I'm just a little, even though I'm an old bitch, maybe I'm just a little too young for that. I don't know if it's something that possibly could happen as I get older, but right now I haven't had an issue. Did you get any bad advice before or after getting dentures? I think, yeah, I mean, I think not so much bad advice, but bad information. Yeah, or misleading information, I think, is everywhere online. I mean, I went through different dental websites, like if I were to look up something about dentures and then end up on a dental website, you can even kind of read through the material and then notice that like there's a marketing strategy there where they really try to talk you out of getting regular dentures, why they're so bad for you now, and why you really need to go with the new technology. Mofo, this new technology wasn't really readily available to the layperson 10, 15 years ago. Okay? 10, 15 years ago, this is what was it. You know, just prettier, more dynamic versions, better quality teeth, lighter gums were in the game. But the accessibility for dental implants, or, you know, the denture partial implants really wasn't as big 10, 15 years ago as it is now. And you see that they really try to capitalize on that because they really try to talk you into like, you don't want your bones whittling away. Well, for 30, 40 years, man, that's what people did. And it was okay and it worked out. Like, don't try to scare me into purchasing something else that is perfectly fine for me, because you're not worried about what happens to me when I leave here financially. God forbid, you guys, we have another pandemic and you got this $20,000 bill for these choppers. Have fun paying that shit. That's all I'm going to say. So, I mean, just, you know, take in all the information, but then you have to really just be realistic and say, okay, is somebody trying to sell me something? And how is this going to affect me, not only temporarily, but long term? What do you like about your dentures? Well, I like that I can look at people and not, hi, how are you? I'm Beanie. You know, like I like that I can, you know, other than the fact that my shit's crooked, I still feel, even with my crooked ass teeth and stuff, I still can look at people and feel way better than I did with my missing scarecrow teeth. And I like that I can whistle. Like I have this, not like a, like that I could always do, but this, I'm probably not going to be able to do it now. It's very whistly. And then I can do this one too, but I won't do it in my house because of my animals. I never was able to do that before, and that's because this top plate comes down so far, which I still have a lisp because of that, but whatever. I love that I can chew food. That's been like such a gift to be able to chew food. Super gift. Oh, and I like my food really hot, and I don't burn my mouth anymore because this top plate protects me. I can have ice cream and I don't get ice cream headaches because my top plate protects me because, you know, I didn't have it horseshoed out. I can drink coffee piping hot. I can eat my food piping hot, how I like it, and it doesn't hurt me because my dentures protect my mouth. So I like that. Oh, and this is like one of the last questions. Do you have any challenges when cooking or eating? Do you have any challenges? Like with spaghetti, I can't tell when it's done. Okay. No, I don't have any challenges when cooking food. Do you mean like when cooking food, like telling when food's done because you have dentures? No. I mean, when cooking spaghetti, listen, there's a proper way and an improper way to cook spaghetti. You want it, first of all, you want to eat your spaghetti al dente. Don't eat it mushy. And you can tell when spaghetti has a little snap. I can tell with my teeth. See, that's weird. I can tell with my teeth if I were to try a piece of pasta whether or not it's done. I can tell. But if you didn't, you can tell by using your finger and kind of just pinching it, you know, how done it is. Not that your question's weird, but it's kind of weird. I don't find that a challenge, but not saying that your challenge is bad. It's just, I don't find that challenging. And do I have any challenges eating? No. Apparently I don't, because I'm still juicy. No, I don't have any challenges eating. I eat the things that I want to eat. And we already talked about the steak thing. Just cut your shit small, guys. And I can even, you know, on the occasions that I've gone to like fast food, I can eat like a chicken burger, like as a real person, you know, like taking an actual bite of a burger like a normal person. Those are no longer issues for me. So no, I don't have any issues with that. And if you are having issues with that, just keep trying. It'll work itself out. Little bites is really the key. Little bites is the key. If you have little bites, then you won't choke. You know, you get to masticate your food properly, which we all should be doing anyways, and that's it. So yeah, that was my 1 year recap, 50 minutes, and I don't even know if I was helpful. But I promised I would do it, and now I did it, and I do have to go back to work. I hope each and every one of you is well. I would like to promise you a new video tomorrow, but we all know that Beanie is a follow-through failure, and you know, sometimes life really just kind of takes me away, and I don't feel like making a video. On the weight loss, since my last video, I'm down 20 pounds, but you can't tell because I'm so fucking fat. I mean, really. I should be a lot further along in my weight loss than I am, but that's a video for another day. I'm still chugging along. I'm still going to the gym. I've been like going only like 3 days a week, only because work has been so stressful and I don't feel like getting up at 4 in the morning. Anyhow, guys, let me go back to work. Thank you so much for watching this whole thing, if you even did. If not, I'll catch you next time. Talk to you soon. Bye!